Today we discuss Evil Dead.
Good movie, bad movie, all around.
Who
find
knows?
Find out movie.
Okay, so Evil Dead, the first one, created in 1981, where a group of friends go to a cabin, find the Book of the Dead,
And unleashes hell on earth. Or at least in that cabin.
at least in the cabin. Yeah. Thoughts on this movie? I feel like, speaking of the older horror movies, we got Freddy, we got Jason, we got Michael.
Yeah.
I think that it's right along with them, top tier.
Yes, but in a different consistency, I would agree. So, like as far as like an all around movie, I would agree. If you're talking about iconic wise, I feel like it doesn't match up as well. And that's just my opinion on it.
I think the reason it's like that is because the thing that Freddy, Jason, and Michael have, well, not the name of the movies, but the creatures,
Yeah.
the killers, they actually have something you can look at, like a iconic killer.
Yeah.
So in the Evil Dead, most of the time you just see the camera floating around.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have like a face to put on the creature.
Yeah.
It's just the camera, which maybe they were trying to go for the person watching it is the creature.
Oh my gosh, I'm a creature. This
What
is
a
great.
twist.
This is great. I've always wanted to freaking cut that out. I don't want to.
I always wanted to be a serial killer.
Cut it out. But yeah, it's very different because in Evil Dead, Ash is your iconic part of it. Nothing else in the Evil Dead is iconic to me.
The scene where she's in the cellar, I'll say that's iconic because they repeat that, and then the
just the cellar in general.
No, you know how the girl, she looks out of the cellar and you can just see her eye
Yeah.
and she's talking.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty iconic scene.
Yeah. In the movies,
In the
I've
movie,
only seen the first one and the second one.
But you've seen the remake.
Nope.
Well, in the remake, that's a big scene.
Goes back to it.
Yeah.
Well, like looking at Freddy, Jason, Michael, the killers are iconic. Looking at Evil Dead, Ash is iconic. But not only the killers in Freddy, Jason, and Michael, but in Freddy you've got the 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. In Jason you have the
Would you call that a theme song? I guess so.
yeah, he's around. If you hear watch your back or your front, he's gonna be somewhere. And then in Michael you have like the little piano with the
One of the best theme songs ever.
yeah. And then in Evil Dead, you can't even tell me what it sounds like. Even though like most movies have that theme song and it has one, you can't think of what it sounds like.
No. And it does have one because we looked it up because we were trying to think of what it was.
Yeah.
And even when I heard it, I couldn't really put it to the movie where they play it.
Where it play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just a thing that they use to talk over.
Right.
Like when craps hit the fan.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was crazy that, because you can tell that it's shot on a lower budget.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised to find out that they actually had a $350,000 budget.
Which we realize is very small in the movie making industry.
Not in our world.
Not in our
If
world.
we had $350,000,
Probably have a background.
green screen worth $350,000.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. A lot of the shots, speaking of the shots, the first shot at the beginning where the camera's kind of floating over that swampy area,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, man, that's probably an expensive camera. And they're getting really close to that water.
They're just getting it. I don't care.
They don't care. Like,
That's probably what their budget was used for. The camera.
Probably. But not only that, we were also trying to find other movies that had around the same budget. And we found that the Halloween 1978.
Was like the only thing closest to that.
Yeah, and it was actually less.
Everything else had like $1 million or over budget. Halloween was like the only one under $1 million.
Yeah. That's pretty expectable.
I don't even know why they would need that. They literally just went to the friggin' Halloween store, like the name of the movie, and picked up a mask.
Might have been how they got the name. The Halloween, the killings in that movie, they remind me of that old movie Psycho.
Yeah.
When she's in the shower and she's like, ah, and he's just doing that.
I'm
Good.
talking about.
Yeah.
Good sound effect. I could be just making sound effects in movies. I don't need the Foley and everything. I just do it with my mouth. That's stabbed.
That's Pirates of the Caribbean sword fights.
Oh yeah, that too. You can see you can be using for multiple things, not just one thing. But yeah, they copped out a lot in that movie. I feel like
How
Halloween. Well, you know, they just. It's not like they really went hardcore on effects or anything. It's like, we need a guy that kills people. We only got $325,000.
That's why I give so much credit to the Evil Dead, because they didn't care they had a low budget.
They just
They went for it. They went for it. They had this idea of like so many special effects. We're gonna have people getting their friggin' arms chopped off.
Pencil going into an ankle and twisted around.
Yeah. And it's crazy that they did that on a super small budget compared to Halloween. That's probably why Halloween, I won't say turned out better, but they had less effects to deal with.
Yeah.
So
They weren't ambitious. They weren't over ambitious.
right, and Evil Dead bit off a lot.
Yeah. It was like, we need buckets of blood. We can't afford that buckets of blood. All right, we'll just get some
Kool-Aid.
packets and a whole bunch of water.
Water's free, pretty much.
Kool-Aid packets are like 25 cents a pack. And they probably only used like one Kool-Aid pack. It's red enough.
We'll drink the rest. I wonder how they did make the blood. Because I know we've made blood before, and we usually used like the corn syrup.
Yeah, corn syrup. But theirs, you can tell that theirs in the movie is not very like gooey or like syrupy. It's very liquid. Like it looks like
Thin.
water. Yeah.
It's very thin.
Everybody in that movie takes blood thinners.
So, case solved.
Maybe it's just demon blood. That's how it works.
Demon blood thinner.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Ah. It's an interesting hypothesis.
That's a theory.
Maybe in the next podcast we can go search for some demons.
Freaking rip them apart.
Might be less dramatic, but
Kill them by ripping them apart.
I think I would have loved to have been on that set because I love cheesy things. Even though, I don't think they meant for it to be cheesy.
At least the first one, anyway.
Yeah, at least the first one. I think they really meant for it to be
serious.
Yeah. And the guy, Scott, in
the guy that did more than Ash in the movie.
Yeah. He had that personality that I don't like seeing in the 80s movies.
Oh, yeah. Like, calm down, guys. We're all about to die. It's not even a big deal. Come on.
Yep.
Like, turn that tape off about him talking about everything's going to be brought back from the dead and it's going to kill us all. Guys, it's just a joke. It's a prank. We found it. This guy's obviously joking. It's not real.
Yeah, but when he goes into the shed and sees bones and stuff, this is kind of weird.
Still play the tape, though. Window busts open. You guys are overreacting. The window's busted open.
It's an old cabin. These windows are not very sturdy.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that acting.
But it wasn't about the acting. It was about freaking the devils.
Yeah.
It was about the demons. And I did see, because I rewatched it again. I watched it a long time ago. And I know you haven't seen the series, but not Cheryl. I forget her name. She's like the villain in the series.
Of what movie? Show.
The Ash versus Evil Dead.
Oh, you're talking about the main one. Okay.
Yeah. She does play in the old movie. I can't remember her name. I want to think it might be Ash's girlfriend. No, she dies, don't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dies right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which I realized, I think their first movie was not even meant to follow along with anything.
Oh, they definitely had a script.
Well, I mean, like, not talking about unscripted and scripted. I'm saying, like, as far as their whole series go, I don't think the first one is considered canon. Just because the second one is the exact same thing, concept-wise. They go to the cabin, crap hits a fan, but Ash has no recollection of anything, and they have the same exact name. So it's not like they're two different characters played by the same person. Like, first one, they go to the cabin, crap hits a fan, Ash ends up getting got at the end because the camera gets him. And in the second one, they go back to the cabin, same girl, same necklace, same everything, and yeah, she dies instantly.
Well, I think the second one, they tried to get people up to speed, right? From what happened with the first one.
No idea. But the second one, see, in the first one, everybody gets got, and it ends right there. But the second one, everybody gets got except for Ash, who gets teleported back in time to Egypt. If nobody knew what we were talking about, that sounds really crazy. It sounds out there. But
that's the kind of stuff I love.
Yeah. So he gets teleported back to Egypt, but there was also like that girl and that guy who came from their father's historical works. You seen the second one recently?
Not recent.
Okay, so there's this girl and this guy who are like historical people, like they go and check out historical stuff, and they found pages to the Evil Dead. And Ash just happens to be in the cabin of her dad, who has the whole book of the Evil Dead.
Okay.
And his spirit comes and he's like, ooh, hey, you got to fix those. You got to use the pages to turn everything back.
Man.
Yeah.
I think I'd like the second one.
I think the first one is not even canon, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Based off of watching the second one, because I couldn't piece that together. There's no way anybody could piece that together. Unless the killer freaking made Ash unconscious and he forgot all of the stuff from the first one. That's what the creature was doing. So he could drag more people back to that cabin and they could freaking kill him.
Breaking news right here on Quiet on Set podcast. We have just figured out the story.
That's it.
Evil Dead.
That's it.
If that don't make the headlines,
I don't know what will.
yeah. Don't know. When... Because you said they went to Egypt in the second one?
The second one at the very end, Ash gets teleported into Egypt. He gets sucked in this hole. I think it's Egypt. It might not be Egypt. I didn't watch the movie yet. That's the Army of Darkness movie. It's all about him there. But he gets teleported in like this desert lands. I'm assuming it's Egypt because it's desert. Obviously Egypt.
Obviously Egypt, yeah.
But yeah, he lands there and everybody's like, kill him. He's freaking weird. And they go to kill him, and then this demon comes flying out of the sky, and Ash goes, whips out his shotgun and blows it out of the sky, and they're like, he's the king. He's the king.
Oh, yeah. Okay, he's like a prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's crazy, in the book, in the second one, they're flipping through the pages of the book, and they're like, this is so weird. It foretells this guy who's going to stop all the evil, and it's pretty clearly a picture of Ash standing there with his little chainsaw and gun.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's crazy. And they keep flipping through the pages.
That was a good move on their part, making Ash the main part of that movie.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, you would not picture.
He's a very, yeah, because the other guy takes all the credit.
Right. You don't picture Ash being like the chosen one in the next ones.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's very iconic looking. I think it's his jawline. His jaw is like freaking out there.
Yeah. Kind of reminds you of like Crimson Chin.
Yeah, it's
from Fairly
prominent.
Odd.
Good Crimson Chin if you're watching this, Ash. Good Crimson Chin.
Yeah.
Hunk.
10 out of 10 on being a hunk. Uh, the thing I like about Ash, his personality matches his look.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's like the perfect. It's like almost. I feel like he's so authentic when he's acting. You're getting a piece of him,
Yeah.
like his actual personality in real life. He's just having a good time. Because on the first one, he's very serious and all that stuff. But when I watched the series, and I watched that recently, I love the series. The series is so good. He just has the best personality on that show.
I'm assuming it's more like the second one. I watched the second one pretty recently, so I watched both of them pretty recently because I've never seen them before. But the second one, he acts more. I'm assuming it's like the show. I haven't seen the show yet.
Like cheesy.
Yeah, he's more like some examples would be his girlfriend turns and he doesn't hesitate to kill her before he's like, these are our friends, we can't kill them.
Just
And
straight
stuff.
up, yeah.
Yeah, and in the second one he's like, huh, and he chops her head off like without even batting an eye. And then
Must not have liked her to begin with.
he's in the cabin and his hand turns bad and stuff like that, and he's acting out like pretty goofy and like still serious but goofy.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's how he is in the TV show. I don't know.
It's definitely like that, yeah. Very similar. I just think that it's so modern times now
Yeah.
that the special effects just blow the other ones out of the water.
It surprises me that they have good special effects in the new one.
You think they should have kept the old one?
Well, it just feels like it matches their style.
Yeah, but man. That's how they kept their style in the series, I think. Was the cheesy aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think that's how they kept that original feel of the Evil Dead. But they just went all out on the effects, and their budget went whip on that.
Did you check their budget?
I didn't, but it was by stars.
Mm.
So you know.
Yeah, they were getting those big bucks.
Yeah. But
I was guessing I would say about 15, 20 mil. Maybe more than
Easy.
that. 35. 35 is a good guess, I feel like.
You think 35 million? Well, let me tell you. I donated 10 million of my own money.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That explains the situation we're in right now.
What situation?
Not having a backdrop, freaking.
I gave every penny I had to make that series come alive.
Was it an investment, or is it going to come back eventually, or did you just.
I just gave it.
Oh, wow.
I don't care. It is what it is. It's not about the money, guys.
It's about the entertainment.
loyalty.
The loyalty and entertainment.
Yeah, it's very, very weird to think about, because when I think about budgets of movies,
Yeah.
Evil Dead, $350,000 is their budget. Where do you spend that?
Well, you got to get the good camera. You got to pay all the actors. You got to pay the people to make the music.
Yeah, but think back.
I feel like actors are your biggest budget.
Really?
Like, I feel like that's where most of your money goes. Because you got to think, like, big actors like that. And, of course, he's the one making it, so he's going to pay himself pretty handsomely. Because he's one of the creators.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think, like, I got to make a movie that's going to make me... Even if the movie blows, I still have to have something to fall back on.
You got to at least make your money back.
Yeah, for yourself. Like, I feel like he gave himself something.
Probably.
Yeah, I feel like that's where your big budget comes in. Because, like, you got to think about where you're working. Like, if you're a teacher, you're probably, well, at least around here, if you're a teacher, you're probably making $35,000. That's a year. So if you're making that one movie and that's all that you have plans for, you got to do something because you're investing all your time. You're not getting a job. So after you paid all your actors and stuff, I'm gonna say that like $100,000 of that's probably gone. Way more than that.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like the editor, the cinematographer, probably
Yeah.
get a big chunk of the budget.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like 350,000.
That's a lot. It is a lot.
But in the cinema world,
we'll just be generous. We'll try figuring this out here. So we'll be generous.
well, let me say this: actors. I've listened to some actors on podcast. They talk about when they first get started,
Yeah.
or when they've only had like a few movies under their belt, a few TV shows. A lot of them will do it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, we'll say what, 20,000?
I wouldn't even say that. Like, there's one actor, I won't specify who, but on his podcast, I listened to him, and he said that when he first started out, and he's a good actor, that he did college films for free. He did some commercials for free.
Yeah.
But until you start getting actually paid, free just kind of because you ain't got no experience.
Mm-hmm. So let's just take into example here. Let's think about everybody that could have been involved in that movie. So you've got the 4 actors, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the cameraman. You've got probably a producer, a director, an editor, and then
sound people,
boom guy,
makeup artist.
So there's a lot of people involved, and I'm sure there's way more than what we're mentioning. So let's just set aside $150,000. That's being generous. That's being very generous for everybody.
Yeah,
$150,000. That still leaves you with $200,000 that has to go towards something.
right. And I don't know how they.
The makeup wasn't that expensive. To be honest, we could probably whip up something close to that makeup.
Yeah, I would say so.
It wouldn't look as like professionally done.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the materials and stuff they used, we would use something like that.
Well, I don't know what they used.
It looks like freaking toilet paper. At least that one does.
Yeah, that one, but like the foot.
Oh yeah, that was a freaking
That was a good effect.
gummy foot.
Gummy foot. They had to probably sculpt the foot.
Yeah.
That took a little time. That's probably what it is. You're paying for the time. Because if you got to shoot over 3 months or 4 months.
Location probably costs quite a bit.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
The cabin,
Yeah.
just one place. It's in Morristown, Tennessee. That's where we're from. Not Morristown, but.
You don't think they freaking paid pretty penny for that?
You think they bought it?
No, I think that they just paid to rent it out.
Yeah.
But still, that they didn't shoot it in 1-2 days. It's an hour-long movie.
Hour-long movie. You got. Let's see. How long did it take?
Let's say if I was like, hey, can I have your cabin for a day? And they're like, yeah, just $200 a day. If I shot for a month, that's 200 times 30.
God, that would add up.
Would add up quick.
It would add up, but
Unless they just were like, hey, I found this abandoned cabin, let's go shoot at it. But I doubt it because that location is like perfect.
it was a good cabin.
Like, not only that, the road in the first one when they were driving on that road and it was like leafy, like it had a bunch of leaves on it and it just looked good.
It did look good. I mean, they had to have a lot of acres and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of room to make it. But I just wouldn't imagine that it would cost like
For the location.
ton. Because you got to think, if that was the case, if they had to pay like $200 a day to use that spot,
Yeah.
and they thought that they were going to be shooting for 4 months, that's a lot of money. Why wouldn't you just buy a piece of property? That way you could always have the set. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unless I don't know. That's a good question. But property's pretty expensive. They use like that whole forest.
That would be expensive. But you could get away with like shooting.
Add different angles and stuff.
Yeah. You could do that or shoot like at a different road not connected to the cabin.
Yeah.
But just make it look like it's connected to the cabin.
Oh yeah. As far as money wise goes about renting it though, you got to think like when you rent out a wedding venue
Mm-hmm.
and you pay those people, I'm imagining that's about the same price they use. Maybe a little bit cheaper.
So the thing to take away here is the person that has the set, they're getting most of that.
Yeah, they get most of the money.
Man.
Unless you're in nowadays times where they just use green screen. Golden. Where's all that money going?
That's what people do now. They start a Kickstarter. They're like, we're going to shoot this movie in Egypt.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a zombie film. And we have a budget of $2 million. And then when the movie comes out, it's just like a little bit of blood on people's eyes, contacts.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
not
they
even
go
blood on somebody's eyes. They just get really tired people. That way they have like those weird like bags in their eyes and like bloodshot.
just stand there like you're taking a mug shot at a police station.
No, don't fall asleep. No, wait. Falling asleep might be good. Listen to him.
That's a good sound.
Keep it. Just let him sleep.
We'll take that in post. Crank down the pitch. It's perfect. But yeah, that is pretty wild to think about where the money goes. How do they find where it goes? But speaking of how the newer ones had the larger budget,
Yeah.
I will say they did a better job. So sometimes it
Thanks.
is.
I feel like nowadays most of your budget goes to visual effects.
They got a lot of work on their hands.
Yeah, and the thing is, if I wanted a guy to do something, like on Fire, we'll take Fire for example. You're making me a song. We'll say you're making me an instrumental, or no, let's just say you're making a picture for me. You're drawing something for me. I say, hey, here's how much it's going to cost to draw this. You say $20. I say, how much can you get it to me tomorrow for? You're going to jack up the price.
$50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what these people are doing, but they're hiring like more people in nowadays times. Like,
Right.
I don't feel like it's like on TikTok. I know it's a weird example, but TikTok, there's this guy on there and he's worked on multiple movies and he's just a normal dude.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done big stuff. Like, I think he's worked on Harry Potter and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So I feel like they're just like, hey, they get this list of people and they're like, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, and we'll pay you $50,000 a piece.
Simple.
A lot of money, but simple.
Well, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is Donald Trump could make a killer movie
Yeah.
because he got all that money.
Yeah. One thing I want to talk about on Evil Dead was the camera. Do you feel like that's an actual creature behind the camera that you're seeing the point of view? Because it's weird to me. It always seems like wind is flying around. You know, the leaves are flying around.
Yeah.
You don't. It feels more like a spirit.
I feel like they, in the second one, Evil Dead 2, you see the creature.
Oh, you do? Okay, I can't remember.
You know, a spoiler?
Yeah, hit us with a spoiler.
The creature is a big blob.
No.
Swear. They were like, we can't afford animatronics and we can't afford to animate anything, so they just used a whole bunch of stop motion.
Which I applaud, because that's not easy.
Like, Ash's girlfriend comes back from the dead and she's buried and she pops out of the ground. She's like dancing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stop motion, all of it.
Man, that editor had a ton to deal with.
Oh, yeah. I bet the stop motion, it's not a very cheap route to take. It looks cheap, but you got to think about lining it up, taking the frame, lining it up, taking the frame, lining it up.
Yeah.
On repeat for however long you did it. And they did that for his girlfriend. They did that for the mom in the basement that finally came out. They did it for the end creature. I don't know if they did it for the end creature. I think they just used like a big old thing and shook it around.
You think that could have been animatronics?
Maybe, but I feel like that more than likely was just a dude shaking a big head.
Pretty cool. I wouldn't care to be that guy.
They did animate the end scene when everything was getting sucked into the vortex, but it's very cheaply done because like Ash is like fighting it and he's getting drugged back, and then the girl that summoned it is just laying on the ground. Nothing's even happening to her. She's laying there.
Oh, she's just fine.
No hair's like blowing or anything. And Ash is like holding on.
Well, maybe the evil didn't want her,
Oh my god.
and it just wanted Ash. You gotta think about these things, man. They could have at least put a fan on her,
Yeah.
blew the hair around a little bit, maybe some flashing lights on her. They probably had
I
that.
think they had flashing lights.
Okay. Yeah,
I got some things.
they did something. Yeah.
But in 2, they definitely upped their game.
Yeah, I can tell. And the long neck
Yeah.
in the Evil Dead 2, there is a person like that in the series. So I guess they've remade.
Maybe it's like they have inside the Book of the Dead, they have like a list of demons that could possibly be. You got the long neck demon, you got the basement demon.
Very basic names, like
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Like not like the witchcraft stuff.
There's a stab in the ankle demon. It only stabs your ankle, nothing else.
Ankle stabber. They need to incorporate these into
Ankle biter,
Oh my god.
like a baby.
Like a
Yeah.
pet.
But they need to incorporate these in what?
And Dead by Daylight.
Oh, yeah. They added Ash. They just need to add freaking all the creatures. Every
Yeah.
one of them.
That's what I was gonna say. Any gamers out there, they've got Ash in Dead by Daylight.
And he says little catchphrases.
That he says in the series. Like
Blanking in the tall grass. Pooping but the bad word.
I'll cut it out. He also says, "Kiss my grits."
Yeah, kiss my grits.
He says other things, but I can't really
Yeah,
remember.
me
But yeah, I think they picked a great person for that role, and he actually wasn't going to be the original person for that role. I don't know if I told you that,
I didn't know that.
but it's weird. Anybody out there is aspiring to be an actor, always take every role. Tell them you're always available, because the person they were going to get was like, I don't really have the time to give you all this. Like, he could do it, but his time was limited.
Yeah, because he was busy doing everything else.
Yeah.
And then look who became one of the most iconic horror movie people in the world.
Ash.
Oh, yeah, him too. I was thinking about the mom with the neck.
So, yeah, we were speaking about how Freddy, Jason, and Michael were so iconic. Can't beat Long Neck.
Can't beat Long Neck. She looks like freaking the Land Before Time dinosaur.
You know who she reminds me of?
Who?
No joke. Like, picture... You're a SpongeBob fan.
Yep. Everybody is.
Okay. Remember the one where they're selling chocolate?
What? What are they selling?
What?
What? Oh, sweet, sweet chocolate.
Yes.
That one, yeah.
That person with a body. That's the long neck creature from Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, just attached to a body.
Yeah, seriously. They may have took the inspiration. By the way, where's there chocolate in that scene? Chocolate bars?
I think she had a whole bunch in her hands and she was... If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
Moving on to the next segment where we bash an indie film. Please don't take this to heart. We don't mean anything we say. We just mean about 90% of it.
Silently Within Your Shadow. An award-winning horror film. I think that's a lie. I think they're lying in the title to me.
They need to say what award it was.
Where they got it.
Yeah. A picture of the trophy.
Her holding it.
Yeah.
I don't want just some picture ripped off of Google.
No, there's tons of freaking trophies on Google. Everybody knows it.
Yep.
Everybody knows it.
I get a whole bunch all the time and send to the girls I'm always trying to get. Yeah.
I've seen that folder on your computer, actually. Trophies that you've won.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to. Cut this one out. Just cut that out.
Right.
Back to her.
Back to Silently Within Your Shadow.
When we started up, I said, is something wrong with your computer? He's like, no, it's my computer's brand new, MacBook 2020. And I said, oh, well, again, I guess that means that the freaking sound must be off of the girl because she was talking and it was like this. It was like, hey, how are you doing today?
Awful.
Yeah, it's bad.
And you guys know what we're talking about, the karate movies back in the old days.
Oh, yeah, when they freaking would, hey, how are you? My name is James. But
Just
yeah,
like
that's
that.
how it was.
Yeah, maybe it was my computer, but I doubt it.
Nah, I doubt it. Like I said, 2020 MacBook.
Push it out, yeah. Okay, cool. Another thing about this, the dummy never really comes to life.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't walk around. I wanted to see his legs moving. He's a real person.
Yeah, like grabbing somebody or something.
Yeah, but all you see is close up of his mouth moving like a nutcracker.
Yeah. Ain't no nutcracker.
He ain't no nutcracker.
He's
He's a
dummy.
puppet. Not dummy.
He's a puppet, yeah.
Yeah, because what's his name? Chase made that mistake in the short film.
Yeah.
Called him a dummy.
He's not a dummy.
Look what happened to him.
Freaking got it back of the head with a hammer in the basement.
Dead. He's dead. We were just talking about Clue.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. He got it in the basement with a hammer.
It was the puppet with a hammer.
In the living room.
Yeah, in the living room. Actually, there's 2 killings by the puppet. God bless.
First of all, well, not first of all, because we've already went through a whole bunch of stuff, but later of all, freaking the girl, her acting was not that great.
You just gonna say it like that, like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I'm just gonna peel it. I'm not gonna be like, God, that acting, and rip it off there and be like, that acting was not that bad. I mean, it was bad.
It was pretty bad. You know what I think made it bad? Because they try to be so sophisticated.
Yeah, and there was no emotion behind it either. It was just like
No
delivering lines.
emotion. She was bawling her eyes out, dude. What are you freaking talking about? Especially when she was talking about what was the puppet's name?
Slappy? No,
No.
that's the good puppet.
Goosebumps.
What was his name? It's something stupid.
Randall, I think.
I don't think it was Randall.
All right, we're gonna say it's Randall for
It's
this
Randall.
episode.
Randall the puppet.
So this puppet, man, it was her best friend.
Best friend?
I mean, I looked at you while we were watching it. I looked over at you, and you were like tearing up
Yeah, I was bawling my freaking eyes out.
because she was like, "This was my only friend growing up," and I was getting through it, guys.
I kind of sensed a weird vibe that she may have had a previous relationship with this puppet.
Kind of weird.
Because why else would he be attached to her the way he is?
He loves her.
He loves her.
The puppet loves her, but it doesn't make much sense because he kills her at the end.
Yeah. Hey, if I can't have you, no one can. Now I can't have you. God.
But here's the thing that don't make no sense because she actually acts like she loves the puppet at one.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, Chase, you
She's
don't
like,
realize it. I love Randall.
Yeah. Randall. She's like, and then when Jace leaves the room, she's like, he doesn't understand, Randall. I love you.
What the heck?
Emotions were all over the place.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster.
And the opportunities they had to do jump scares or like little things where the puppet was coming to life, they blew it.
They did, especially when the puppet was in the bed.
Yeah.
It would have been, like, it'd have been funny if he did, he said something
Yeah.
in the bed, like the puppet, because the puppet got in the bed with the girl, because of course he loves the girl.
Yeah. In love.
Yep. Randall's got a big heart, guys. You gotta understand it. But when he gets back in bed, she's like, stop. Like, she's out of it.
Yeah.
And she goes, stop. Just get back in bed. Quit freaking coming up with random stuff. The puppet ain't getting in the bed by itself.
He's right in the bed, turn around. No, I'm too tired. Just freaking quit it. Cut it out. You put him there.
Yeah, she's too tired, but he got up like it was no problem.
And his hair was perfect. I mentioned it when we were watching it. His hair is too perfect. If you're going to bed and you wake up, your hair is freaking out there.
Yeah. Ask the people I work with. Every time I go into work, they say, did you just wake up? And I said, how you know? They say, your hair. His hair wasn't like it. I'm the expert at hair.
Yeah, and I know. I tell you that all the time. Like, dude, you freaking got the hair going. He gave me advice on my hair. It's amazing. But another thing that bothered me in this short film is the fact that the static shots were, oh gosh, I'm playing a little bit of it. The static shots were so bad.
The static?
The static shots. I don't know what else you're going to call them. The things that you're doing in the background that you're not really paying attention to.
Okay.
He spent a good 5 minutes opening his wallet, closing his wallet, twisting his wallet around, opening it back up, twisting it around again, messing with his wallet. So what are you doing with that wallet, dude? Nobody in the history of people are going to do that with their wallet.
I tried to figure that out. I was trying to... What I came up with was he was friggin' in the mood. And...
Yeah.
He was in the mood, looking through that wallet, looking for protection. He was tired of the dummy getting all the action.
He wanted some. That's fair. But another thing...
It's fair.
It's fair. He wanted some.
Yeah.
But, after it cut from the wallet, I didn't mention this when we were watching it, but after it cuts from the wallet, he goes to do another like thing in the background, and he's like plucking like little strings off his jacket. I'm like, what are you doing? You're having a serious conversation about, hey, the puppet is awful, and you were making jokes about me in the thing, messing with my wallet, plucking strings off my jacket.
They tried to give this character too much of a... I don't know what they were trying to do. I'm thinking that they were like, he needs a personality of like OCD
Yeah.
while he's talking to people, but he's not like that when he's being serious at the end.
No, he's like, I'm going to grab his dummy, I'm going to bash his face in. Wait, don't do that. Turn around, turn back around. Boom. He's the one that got his face bashed in.
Or his freaking neck. What was it? It
Neck-
wasn't like a slit. It was like a puncture.
Yeah. With a hammer. Think about that one.
Was it with a hammer?
It was with a hammer.
I thought he had a knife. I guess it was with the hammer. Guy's a strong dummy. Dadgum. Thinking about a big thick hammer.
Leaving that cut.
Leaving that cut. I guess he had to use the
The end that pulls up nails.
yeah. He pulled up that nail.
And the ending when the girl had
What a
her...
good lie.
when the girl got her to the end, I noticed it was funny. Her hair was covering up the wound, and it just had the hammer sticking out.
Oh yeah. Definitely used, what's that thing called? It's not glue. Latex.
Oh, I was just going to say that they had the hammer sitting behind her head, and she just had her hair covering up where you couldn't see the hammer anymore. I don't even think they put anything in it.
Okay. That brings me to my next point. The freaking theater. Or not the theater, but the club that she was at.
Oh, yeah. Where she was talking in the crowd, and she was also the dummy person.
She played the person in the crowd, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you ain't got the people, it's fine.
Maybe change your voice a little bit, but that's just coming from me. A professional voice actor.
Yeah.
I got paid on Fiverr one time.
He's
That's
legit. He's legit, guys. Go to his Fiverr and buy it right now.
I'll do anything you want me to do. You want me to say funny stuff? You'll have to give me the lines and I'll say it, but it'll be funny.
What's this? Grinch.
Grinch. Max.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, so there's just a black background. They either A, used a green screen, pretty cool effect. B, this is probably what they did do. They lit her up real well.
Yeah.
Just used a solid black background. But the sound effects, everything sounded pretty good. If
you don't have ears.
But what's one good thing you could say about this movie?
All right, we're going to end it off on one good thing. The good thing that I'm going to say about the movie is that the angles weren't terrible.
So the cinematography.
Wasn't terrible.
My one good thing, the puppet. I like the look of the puppet.
Except his hair. I didn't like his hair.
Could have been a little different.
Yeah.
It was like Velcro.
Yeah.
That's gonna wrap up this episode of the podcast. We are new to Spotify, so consider subscribing. Download the podcast. We're gonna have a new podcast every Friday.
Please, we're desperate.
But as always, shh.
Quiet on set.